Welcome to the Mind of Basketball Podcast, also known as the M.O.B Podcast, episode 104. I am Evan.
And I'm Ja.
And this is our basketball podcast where we recap, break down, and analyze players and teams from previous games from the previous day. It's Wednesday, Ja. How are you?
I'm chilling. I'm good.
It's good to hear you not tired, or you always are.
Skip over that. Well, I'm always tired, bro. Come on.
Yeah, you're right. I feel you on that, though. I'm doing good as well. Hope everyone having a good day. Hope everyone will have a good day. Much to discuss in the basketball world. Should we get to the bad news first or wait on that?
I think we should just get it out the way. I think we should
probably just get out the way. The news, the only news, but the biggest news of yesterday and for the past month or so. MRI revealed Jamal Murray has suffered a torn ACL. Obviously, anybody who watches any sports, any contact sports, or any physical sports know what that means, and that is just terrible. You don't want to see that from anybody. You don't want to see an injury like that. You don't want to see, especially from a young star like Jamal Murray. That just, it sucks to hear when you see those words, torn ACL.
Yeah. It doesn't ring well. It does not ring well. The long lines of people, like athletes who have suffered ACL injuries, especially within the basketball profession, is crazy because it's just like it's different because of advanced technology, so things make it better for you to recover, but it's not a good look because people don't usually turn out the same way. They don't.
Yeah, as you mentioned, nowadays it's easier to come back from torn ACL injury compared to how it was 90s, definitely 80s.
Mm-hmm.
But still, it's still so hard to come back. You really have to will yourself into that comeback and put in all your effort into it.
Exactly. And
even if you do that, you still might not be what you once was.
Exactly. Like you have to basically retrain yourself the basic human fundamentals, like necessities of like how to walk and stuff, and how to put so much, how to keep your leg being more active and stuff like that and things like that. And then and when you do that, then you got to focus on the basketball part. So that's what makes it 10 times more harder.
Yeah. Sucks for Jamal Murray. Definitely sucks also for the Denver Nuggets. As you know, they had a lot of promise this year, trending in the right direction. With the trade of Aaron Gordon as well, new acquisition.
Mm-hmm.
And they looked like possible dark horses for the championship.
Yes, they did. Again, Jamal Murray is everything to that team. They're second star. They're, in my opinion, their closer, even though they got a great player in Jokic who could also close out games. The man is the man is a highly skilled, pure shooting. Like he could shoot out the gym. We seen him light up teams out the gym, and he's sneaky athletic too. So so think about that. He's also sneaky athletic. He's really athletic, believe it or not. So this injury will take a toll on his athleticism too. He can't do much of the things that he used to do athletically now, possibly because of this ACL injury when he comes back. So this just is a blow for the Nuggets, really big. He always shows up during the postseason for them, and this is going to be really tough for them. This is going to be a real challenge.
Yep. Get well soon, Jamal. I know everyone's hoping for a speedy recovery. Hopefully he gets back to the same player he once was, hopefully even better.
Yeah.
But we shall see in the next season. Yeah. Now let's move on to more I guess positive spirits.
Yeah.
Unless you're a Blazers fan. Going on going on to the probably the best game of the night from last night, and luckily we had the opportunity to watch it. The Boston Celtics going up against the Portland Trailblazers, and this was a competitive game, a really fun game to watch. The Blazers have been kind of on that kind of downward end, while the Celtics have kind of been really ascending in these past few games. But I mean, the Celtics, they really played great, especially in that second quarter and in that third quarter. And they really got out. Brown, Tatum, and Walker, all three of them came to play. The stars were out for the Celtics. They got out, had great defense from against the Blazers as well. Blazers were struggling here and there on offense, but what really kept the Blazers in the game was Melo. Melo was hot throughout the entire game. He's also been struggling for the past few weeks or so, and he came out and he was shooting. He was being Melo, vintage Melo, hoodie Melo, what they said TNT Melo. I mean, he was doing all for the Blazers, helping them, keeping them in this game. And the fourth quarter hit, and the Boston found themselves up by 8, and they looked like they was about to try to run away with this game. But this was a close game throughout the entire game. Trailblazers' largest lead was 9, and Boston's largest lead was that 8 in the fourth quarter. And after that 8, Melo got hot. Melo got hot, and he started hitting shots. And then after Melo got hot, Dame got hot, and then Dame started hitting his shots, and he started willing this team. And the Celtics always tried to push ahead, but Dame was just there lighting them up. And you know, fourth quarter is Dame time. So yeah, fourth quarter is Dame time. So you know he's always there to play. And it came down to the wire. Came down to the wire. Believe. Let me think if I remember. Dame hit a no. CJ hit a 3. CJ hit a 3 off of a pass and Dame. They were up by 1. The Celtics. Tatum got fouled. Tatum got fouled, sent to the line. He made both free throws. Dame had a good look with about 30 or so seconds left, but he ended up missing. Celtics got the ball back. Tatum just hits a tough 3, gets it to go. They are by 4. Norman Powell actually gets a 3 on the other end to bring it in with 1. But, I mean, they had no timeouts, limited time left. They fouled Marcus Smart with about 3.5 seconds left. You can see Brad Stevens telling him to miss it. If you read his lips, he's telling him miss it. So he misses it. Dame gets the rebound, and they double team him initially. I mean, he can't really do anything. There's only 3.5 seconds left. So he just throws it up, prayer, ends up missing, and as a result, the Celtics win a close game in Portland.
Wait, so he was posting because he missed the first one anyways. So
no, he missed the first one, and then after that, Brad Stevens told him to miss the second one. Because I mean, it doesn't matter at that point because they're gonna have to go for a 3.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, Celtics win a close game in Portland.
Yeah, man, this was again just like what you said. You basically said it all. Highly competitive from start to finish. Nobody was able to really get out to that big digit lead or anything like that. It stood close to the whole game. Tatum balling, Brown balling, Walker balling, and then Dame doing what he does when it comes up, and CJ and Melo doing it. And you got to give a lot of credit to CJ also, who was also hustling. He had like huge possessions down offensive.
That one possession where he just got like 3 offensive rebounds.
Just imagine that is a little bit of a turning point right there. That could kind of change the course, because if the Boston Celtics fight for the rebound, things could possibly be different down in the other end. But because CJ kept hustling, kept fighting, kept getting these extra possessions for the Blazers, they were able to convert eventually. As Dame hit a huge three on the left wing, I believe.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? The things like that matters. But good fight by them, but just better fight by the Celtics.
Yeah, and as I mentioned earlier, the Celtics have kind of been going up on the upper end of the win column. You got to give them credit. They're finally looking like they're getting it together. You know, and what better time to get it together than around this time?
Yeah.
You know, fourth quarter of the season, the remaining 15 games left or whatever. And, you know, this is a time. The East is very competitive. You know, Boston don't want to play in that playing game. I mean, really, nobody does. So they're trying to get themselves out there. They see themselves, or how we see them as a potential elite team in the East.
Yeah.
And now everybody's healthy. No excuses. This is the time they have to keep this up because they are better than what their record shows.
Yeah.
And as for the Blazers, they kind of been on that slump a little bit, so to speak.
Yeah. I say this. One thing I always know about these professional teams and stuff is like no matter what, you can never avoid it. There's going to be those times where you're going to be on a huge winning game streak, and you're going to
Mm,
have times in which you're going to go into your slump. Each and every team is going to go through their bright moments and their slumping moments in which they're in a bad situation right now. They're losing constantly. Now, there's anomalies in which, like, there's teams who, like, you can never truly honestly say they're on a bad, like, you can never truly in your mind say that you don't see them going on a crazy losing streak or anything. And there's teams that you look on the opposite of the coin saying that they just highly bad and inconsistent, such as who we talked about the last episode, the Sacramento Kings and the New Orleans Pelicans and the Houston Rockets, teams like that. Like, you know what I mean? But
Houston ain't
like teams are,
inconsistent.
but when you're
Whoa,
playing,
whoa. Houston isn't inconsistent. They just suck. Okay, they just haven't been able to get it together. They're not inconsistent.
okay, you
They
got that
just
one.
suck. The Kings are teetering on that sucking level. I say they suck because they sucked for the past 15 years or so. So I mean, speak. The Pelicans are inconsistent. I am that. The Pelicans
I hate
are an
you.
inconsistent
Yeah,
team.
I hate,
But yeah, but sorry
yeah.
to cut you off. Go
But
on.
nah, you good. Nah, you got that one. You got that one. I made a mistake
I
on
know.
that. But
I know.
but but yeah, every team is going to have to go through this, especially if you're whether a championship contending team or a playoff contending team. You're gonna have to go through these times of which you know that there's a possible chance you're gonna go on this win streak, but there's eventually gonna be a possible chance in which other teams are gonna just have your number for a good amount of time before you can get back to that winning streak. So that's all it is. It just hops.
Hmm.
And I think
Yep.
that's what that's basically what they're going through right now.
Yeah. They need to also get more wins against good teams. It
Yeah.
seems like sometimes they really struggle against those good teams.
Yeah.
And obviously, the playoffs, you're just facing good teams, especially in the West.
Exactly.
So yeah, they need to get it together. We'll see what happens from them, and we see what happens with Boston.
But they're
Oh,
still the
another
sixth seed, right?
what?
They're still the sixth seed, right?
Yes, they are still a six. No, yeah. Sorry, they are still a 6 seed. Yes.
Yeah, you don't want to go against Cancun. You don't want to go against Cancun now.
Nope, you don't. And speaking of the Cancun Los Angeles Clippers, they played last night against the Indiana Pacers, and so to speak, the best players were out except for Kawhi. He was literally out.
Yeah.
He was hurt. But yeah, the best players for each team was out. For the Pacers, Brogdon, Sabonis, Levert, all three of them came to play in a major way. They had themselves good games. Um, Brogdon, he had himself 29 points. Levert had 26. Sabonis had 20 and a double double. Of course, I mean it's a bonus.
Well, like what LeBron did, but yeah, go on. I'm just
What?
saying. I'm just being honest. Well, what LeBron did.
What did LeBron do? Oh,
Exactly.
never mind. Never mind.
Exactly.
um, and yeah, and this was a very competitive game from the get go. Pacers really came to play tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I was really impressed with how they was playing, especially since Pacers they've also been in that inconsistent realm.
Yeah.
But they were looking good against a really good Clippers team, so to speak. And it came down to really who was going to have the edge in that fourth quarter, and that's what happened in that fourth quarter. It was the Clippers had the edge in that fourth quarter, with great ball movement, a lot of assists, a lot not just one man offense. They just get it going, and on the defensive side, they stepped up with their defense. Pacers really couldn't hit their shots, really couldn't get in that rhythm, and as a result, the Clippers win, and I said the stars are the best players of the Pacers, but I left out one player for the Clippers specifically because Paul George had himself a night, and he was really that big star, really that big locomotive for the Clippers, and they needed that. He brung the intensity, he brung the offensive firepower and weaponry that they needed, obviously without Kawhi, and he was there for them. He hit the big shots, he hit the tough shots. I mean, he was crossing them up, getting to the hoop, dunking. I mean, laying it up. He was doing it all. I mean, Paul George, the season that he's been having, has been spectacular.
Yeah, man, and you wish he wasn't out for that certain stretch of period of time because you want to see how much you kind of did within that time too, leading them to the All-Star break. But PG-13 is PG-13. You know what I mean? He's been doing this since 2013, man. Like regardless of how y'all want to disrespect him because of how recent years have went, especially in the postseason, I don't
Mm.
care. PG is still one of the best talents to ever come across in this game. No, what he could do on both ends of the floor. His offense is silky smooth. His defense is superb. I don't think we got to talk much. He's highly skilled. He's one of the best skill players we got. One of the best skill players we got in the league. But one person who I like to note out from the many stars that played in this game was LeVert, because LeVert is really starting to find his stride on this team,
Mm.
and you've seen it within the couple of games that within the recent games that Indiana has played. Because don't forget, he came back off of that scare, struggled to find his way, but now he's finally looking like he's found a fit on his team, and he's playing well alongside some really great talent such as Brogdon and Sabonis, and you can see Indiana's going to be a fun team. They're going to be a really fun team to watch, especially offensively. And you've seen it this game. They highly competitive, really great. Everybody contributed, especially those three guys, and it's just amazing to see.
Yeah. The way I look at Indiana's offense, they kind of have three different styles of offense they can play. They have the I guess the boring style. Sabonis get down low, post up. Kind of that skill position, jump hooks,
Yeah,
post up jump shots, and all that. They have the kind of in between boring and
and
modern
yeah,
in Brogdon,
yep,
who can really do it all from just really setting up plays or one-on-ones and all that. Then they have the modern style in LeVert, who's very exciting to watch in the way he carries the ball and the way he gets to the hoop and attacks and the way he shoots and all that. If they can just get it together on everything else, they can be a really, really good team
yeah.
in this
Cause,
Eastern Conference.
cause wait, correct me if I'm wrong. Did they let go of TJ Warren?
No, TJ Warren's out for the season. He's hurt.
Okay, yeah, he just out for the season. So just imagine that. You talk about LeVert, Sabonis, Brogdon, Warren, who else they got? Sumner,
Miles Turner,
Miles Turner.
possible defensive player of the year.
Yeah, look at all the pieces that they got. That's great pieces. I just named right there. That's really good pieces to have. Now all you got to do is just like what you said, fit it or find some kind of way. I feel like they could implement all three of those systems that you just said, basically. You talk about Brogdon, the floor general, Sabonis, who all you need is to do is just give him the pain, get out of the way offensively. To be honest, he gonna go to work and
Mm.
think. And Levert, he's like what I like offensively. He's like a Swiss Army knife offensively. He could he could handle the ball, get to the paint, and whenever he wants to, he could get it going from the mid range and three ball area whenever he wants to.
Yeah.
He's versatile.
Yeah, I agree. But give credit to this Clippers team coming out the way they did, winning the way they did, without
Yeah,
Kawhi, and how they've been playing recently has just been dominant.
yeah.
I mean, they won 6 in a row. They've been beating teams by double digits on a consistent basis. So you gotta give all that credit to this Clippers team. Paul George, we just mentioned, Terrence Mann, who has really stepped up, Rondo, who has been playing like Rondo ever since he got here. Also Marcus Morris, who's not really being talked about enough. He steps up a lot in these games, putting
Yeah.
up 20 a night in some of these games. And when he does that, they win.
Yep.
So everybody on this Clippers team deserves all this credit how the way they've been playing right now.
Yep. With their flowers.
All right. On to the other games around the league. Any games you would like to talk about first? Had some pretty good
Yeah.
games.
Yeah, there was some pretty good games. The first game I'll talk about is the Hawks versus the Raptors. And the Hawks basically had a really comfortable lead for majority of this game. Especially from that second quarter going on.
Mm-hmm.
They looked like in the fourth. I'm just gonna fast forward to it. In the fourth quarter, they
Yeah.
looked like they had it in the bag. In those, but um the Raptors went on I think was it like a 12-0 run led by a dude named Malachi Flynn, who had it streaking from the three. He was just stroking it from the three straight up. And you saw the Hawks have that double-digit lead just squandered to the fact of it being like I believe like a 3-point lead, a 5 3-point lead.
Mm-hmm.
And the Raptors looked like they had an opportunity to ice the game or to get the game or to at least send it to overtime. But
Mm-hmm.
the Hawks were able to strike back. I believe the Raptors missed and they were able to go to the line and convert.
Yeah. In the end, the Hawks taking the win. Clint Capella, I believe he had a 19-21 rebound game. He's just been an absolute monster this season. An absolute monster. Bogdanovich, he stepped up. I don't know. Trae Young wasn't even playing. So you got to also take that into account.
Oh my God.
So
Yeah.
yeah, you also got to take that into account. The Hawks really they kind of separating themselves from the pack in this Eastern Conference. Also hitting their stride when they need to be.
Yeah. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. They're again, it's the coaching change. I think things like that have gotten better, and the fact that I think Coach Nate has been empowering his players to go out and just play more like
You
basketball.
really
Just play.
cannot say his name.
I don't know what's going on. I used to always be able to pronounce it. Now I just can't. I don't know. Again, I'm not. You know what? Ignore that. But yeah, they just been playing more within like a flow, a rhythm, like a system is in place or some kind of sorts for them.
Well, yeah, because Nate McMillan is a playoff coach, playoff
Yeah.
caliber coach. So yeah, it's not unreasonable to see why they're playing so well under him.
Yeah.
Yeah. On to the next game.
The next game I like to talk about is another highly competitive game, but yeah, this one was from start to finish. Is the Hornets versus the Lakers, and
Mm-hmm.
man, was it well balanced offense on the Hornets side from Devontae Graham to the Martin twins, Caleb and Cody Martin, Biombo had it going, Miles Bridges, like the Hornets came out to play all around. Everybody contributed basically.
I mean,
And then you got the Lakers who also came out to play also. And this was a highly competitive game from start to finish. But Kuzma just had it going for them whole night. I
mm-hmm.
believe 24 in a night. He was just straight up balling, just cooking whenever you get the chance. And this is what you like to see. Again, the challenge I talk about is one of the challenges I said is Kuzma going to step up now since LeBron is out, AD is out. Is he going to take over that scoring reign? And he showed it in this game for sure. And just big shots down the stretch, And the Hornets, even though they were the Lakers had the advantage going down the stretch, and then the Hornets start to do what they usually do within moments like that, start to lead on this kind of comeback, and they nearly took the lead, but then Caruso hit a big shot and was able to give them a big time lead right there, and then as a result, I think that the Lakers went on with that, and they were able to
Yep.
win the game.
Yep. Good win by this Lakers team. A good fight by the Hornets team, despite literally not having like like a lot of their main players.
Yeah.
Gordon Hayward's still out, obviously, but Rozier was out. PJ Washington was also out. So good effort by the Hornets, but good win by the Lakers team.
Yeah.
And lastly,
the last game I would like to talk about is the Thunder versus the Jazz. And
why?
I'll tell you why. I think Harden's really familiar with this dude. I'll tell you that. But Lou Dort, he had a game for their ages in terms
of ages.
In terms of his career. He came out the gates balling. I believe 42, 43 on the night.
42 on the night.
42 on the night. And man, all I can remember is he was balling that first quarter. He was lighting up the Jazz in that first quarter. That's all I could say. From getting into the paint, mid-range area footwork, like, oh my gosh, he had it going. He just had it going. The Jazz had no question for him. And as a result, the Thunder team
the Jazz had no answer.
Wait, who?
You mean the Jazz had no answer?
The Jazz had no answer. Yeah, the Jazz had no answer. And the Thunder were hot in that first quarter, and they were able to get up to a double-digit lead. I believe they went up into like 15, 17 points. But, you know, the Jazz are the Jazz, obviously, and we can't just act like as if they're not who they are. And midway through that second quarter, they basically took the lead right back.
Turned up the heat.
They turned up the heat, and it was close for a little bit, and then they ran away with it. So, what a way to spoil a really great night by a man who locked up James Harden.
You really got some problems with James.
No, I don't. I'm just telling you. Hey, I left him alone. This is just a joke right now. I left him alone.
You're right. I'll let you be. But yeah, great night by Lou Dort. But better night for the Jazz as they ended up picking the win, and that's what matters the most. But all right. No news as I mentioned from earlier about Jamal Murray. That was the only news. So let's move on to the predictions for tonight's set of games. Looking like a pretty interesting lineup. So let's go first. Starting off, a 4:30 game. The Milwaukee Bucks going up against the Minnesota Timberwolves.
If Giannis, I still got Milwaukee, even if Giannis not playing.
Wow, interesting take. But I got the Bucks. I mean, Minnesota just got smacked by the Nets yesterday.
Yes, they did.
But the Cavs going up against the Hornets. Hornets. The first primetime game of the night, ESPN 7 o'clock. Make sure which everyone was healthy because it is the battle between the 1 and the 2 of the Eastern Conference. That is right. The Brooklyn Nets going to Philadelphia, going up against the Philadelphia 76ers, a possible Eastern Conference Finals matchup.
Philly.
Got Philly. Yeah, I mean the Hornets. The Nets don't have Kyrie. James. Don't know about Aldridge or Blake. So yeah, I have to agree with you. I got the 76ers as well. Moving on, the Spurs going up against the Raptors. No Kawhi for either team.
I got the Spurs with this one.
I got Spurs as well. The Clippers going against the Pistons. I don't know if there's Kawhi.
It's going to be Clippers in my opinion regardless. But hey, anything can happen.
You're right, anything can happen. But yeah, it's definitely going. Well, I got the Clippers. Yeah. The Magic going against the Bulls. Vucevic playing against his former team.
What a reunion, I guess, in a way. I got the Bulls, though.
I got the Bulls as well. The Knicks going up against the Pelicans.
Phoenix.
Pelicans.
Wait, repeat the team?
The Knicks going against the Pelicans.
I thought you said Phoenix.
Nah.
I got the Pels.
I got the Knicks. The Pacers going up against the Rockets.
Yeah, skip.
Pacers. The Warriors going up against the Thunder. Warriors. The next primetime game of the night, ESPN 9:30. The Dallas Mavericks going up against the Memphis Grizzlies. Hold on. I think that might be a play-in matchup. Possibly.
Yeah, I think the Mavericks. I got the thing, the Mavericks.
Mavericks. Yep, I got the Mavericks as well. The Heat going up against the Nuggets. Obviously, first game with Jamal Murray out to the torn ACL, not the first game that they played without Murray. Yeah, I got the Heat as well. And lastly, the Wizards going up against the Kings.
Skip. We already know. Come on, man.
Yes, I'm going to pick the team that just beat the best team in the league. I got the Wizards.
Well, yeah, that's what I said. Skip. We already know our answer.
Yep, the Kings currently on a 7-game losing streak.
Already, Aaron.
I feel like they've been on a 7-game losing streak for the past 16 years. All right. I think it's time to wrap things up. Any final thoughts?
Dang. All praise for Jamal Murray.
Yes.
Yeah, hope he gets well. Obviously, I'm not gonna say speedy recovery. I just hope he takes his time, and just tries his best to get back out there.
Well, when we say speedy recovery, it means like speedy recovery that he's back 100% quick.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, that's it. That's really about it.
Well, let me ask you one quick question. What do you think about the Nuggets' playoff chances now without him?
You said it. You alluded to one time. Significantly. I'm not gonna say they still got a chance, but with no Jamal Murray, it's significantly low, in my opinion. Like, cause again, I know you got Campazzo, but who's gonna be your true lead guy?
Like ball handling and all that.
Yeah, in terms of ball handling, all that. I know Campazzo, he's a good passer and stuff, but he ain't the shooter like Jamal Murray, obviously, nowhere near. And like, you know what I mean? And like, you know, the things that he could do with or without the ball, he can't. I'm not disrespecting, but he can't do what Jamal Murray does.
Not disrespecting him.
And
Monty Morris.
Yeah, Monte Morris. He's quality. He's capable, but it's just like you can't replace Jamal Murray. You just can't replace him. It's hard. Like I don't know any other guard who could.
Maybe they can utilize they might have to change up their system a little bit, tweak it a little bit, add some more ball movement around the perimeter and all that. And if they just do that and give some more of the younger players some more playing time, maybe they step up.
Yeah.
In the absence of Jamal Murray, since they're getting more playing time, they get more minutes. They get more ball touches or whatever.
Actually, I like what you said right there, because now this could be another challenge. Michael Porter Jr. We know how talented he is offensively. Let's see how he could do with the ball more in his hands now. Because he looked like a person who could play. Yeah, that would be great. I feel like he could be a point. What is he? A small forward, right? He could be a point forward. He has really good ball handling skills. So let's see.
Yep, we shall see, and we shall keep an eye out on the Denver Nuggets for the rest of the season. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching today's podcast. Make sure to tune into tomorrow's podcast. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.
And also follow IG down in the description below.
And once again, I'm Evan.
And I'm Ja.
And this is the Mind of Basketball Podcast.